Good morning, Real Hondo Prep football fans. It is game day. The wait is finally over. We are ready for some football. It's time to turn on those Friday night lights and get us rocking and rolling here on the Charge to Keep podcast. Real Hondo Prep opens its season tonight, 7 o'clock at Care Park against the El Monte Lions. Who is ready for some football? Enough talking about it. Enough predictions, enough of hoping for what might come in the future, what to expect, looking back at last season, looking to the future. It's time. The time is now. The place is here. Real Hondo Prep Football kicks off their season tonight at Care Park. Week 1. You don't want to miss it. If you can't make the game, be sure to tune in on the NFHS network, where you can see a full broadcast from Clark Bollinger and Kyle Horton. I told you guys I was going to do a podcast episode on Sundays, which I'm still going to do. The interview with Coach Carson, usually bring on another guest. We'll recap the game from Friday night. But I thought I'd also do kind of a brief, really just a quick 15, maybe a 20-minute hit here on game days on Friday mornings to get you guys fired up for the game. Maybe a little preview, if you will, things that I'm looking forward to, things that I can expect really, or will expect from the game tonight. And just a reminder to you guys about the content we have coming your way. Of course, the Sunday full-length episodes, the full-length podcast with Coach Carson on Sunday mornings, which will air at some point around noon or so. But also additionally this year, I'm going to be at the games. This is the first season opener I've been able to get to in over a decade, I think, which I'm very excited about. But I'm going to have plenty of content on social media for you guys on Friday nights with the games I'm able to get to. I should be able to get to most as of now, but that could always change. So for now, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. If you haven't done so already, you definitely want to follow us on those platforms, on the Charge to Keep podcast platform. You could see us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Pretty easy to find. Of course, on YouTube as well. I may post this short episode. I'll air it just like a normal podcast episode on Fridays. But again, I'm going to keep this real brief, 15, 20 minutes max. And I want just a quick preview show here. On game day, I'm going to be doing a on-field, on-site preview show about 5:30. I might do it live. I might not. It's a little tricky when it's live. So I might record it around 5:30, maybe 6, and then release it on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, all those places, right about 6:15 or so, give or take. Again, you're going to have to work with me. It's a work in progress. It's the first time I'm doing something that can always be a challenge. So lots of content, a brief little game preview here in the morning, which will go on all our social media platforms, as well as audio and YouTube. And then for the night game, for the nighttime, I should say, around 5:36, I'll have a pregame show out. Just more of the same, but also just kind of giving you guys a timeline of events in real time as the Cares are going on the field, the opponent is coming on the field. And then there will be plenty of behind the scenes posts and videos and things when the team comes out, when they go out for coin tosses. That'll all be on social media only. I probably won't post that on YouTube and things. So plenty of reasons to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. You're going to get all kinds of great clips, content. I'll interview Coach Carson before the game, after the game, interview players after the game. All of that will be on our social media platform, so you don't want to miss that. Maybe even make a Charge to Keep one of your favorites so that you see everything coming up as is. So I'm going to get to the game tonight. Here on the Charge to Keep podcast. Briefly, I wanted to talk about what I saw on Tuesday. I went to the JV game at El Monte High School, and most of those freshmen, most of the whole team really is going to be playing in varsity games as well, freshmen and the sophomores there. This team has a ton of freshmen, and I was excited to see the impact they would have on the field, at least taking their first snaps as a Real Hondo Prep high school guy. You know, that's a special time no matter when it is. But a lot of these guys who played in that game are going to be playing on varsity. So I wanted to see kind of them with live ammunition there, right? Live bullets being fired in a game situation. Rio dominated the football game from start to finish. They won 40-16. They were up 28-0, I think, at one point. But some great plays made by a lot of freshmen on that team that I wanted to mention right out of the gate. A young man by the name of, let me see. Sorry, was it Tyler? I wrote all this down, trying to keep it all together. Tyler Dang, 55-yard punt return for a touchdown, and also scored another time. He was rather shifty. Liked watching him run the ball, get in open space. I guess he's a wide receiver, I guess, but he's going to get a lot of carries too. Another guy to look for, Andy Zoo, Andy XU. He had a lot of carries and really got out in space quite a bit. Had himself a couple of touchdowns. Was really impressed with him. I don't know if these guys are going to get carries on at the varsity level, but they will be playing on Friday night. So I wanted to mention some of those guys that contributed greatly to the JV game on Tuesday. Nathaniel Shine. This is a guy I'm really looking forward to seeing. He's a freshman. He's 5'9", 190 pounds, one of the bigger dudes on the team. And again, all these guys I'm mentioning are going to be playing varsity football this year. And you can expect to see Shine in the middle of things this year. He's just getting started growing, I'm sure, and he's going to bulk up. He reminds me a lot of Ryan McCullough, just his body type and how he's going to where he puts his nose in things. And so I'm looking forward to that. And as far as linemen go, two of the bigger dudes on the Rio Hondo offensive line. Some big guys really that I want to mention here. I didn't see exactly how many snaps they had, but Elijah Gavia, Jacob Gomez, David Reyes, Ivan Thack. These guys are big dudes all around the 180, 190 mark for Rio Hondo standards. And then Elijah Gavia, 5'10", 235. So and these guys are all freshmen I just mentioned, except for Ivan there, who's a sophomore, but plenty of guys that are going to be in the trenches for Rio Hondo here for years to come, but especially on Friday night. And that is something I really want to look at this Friday, a few different areas of the football game, things to expect, things to keep an eye out on. And so I just want to give props to those guys who made their first snaps memorable at Rio Hondo Prep with a 40-16 win over the El Monte Lions. And so we'll see what impact that has this Friday night as Rio, the varsity, will be playing that same El Monte team. I doubt many of the guys on that JV team are playing on the varsity as well. Saw walking back to the car on Tuesday, saw the El Monte varsity team practicing. Looked like a very athletic group, some very big linemen. So we'll see. I think the key on, well, I don't want to say key because I do have 5 keys that I want to get to, but an emphasis on Friday night will definitely have to be limiting the quarterback play from El Monte. Very athletic guy. I don't know how accurate he is throwing the ball, but he seems to run that whole offense literally. And we'll be running, some more zone read that we saw on film last week. And so we'll see how active he is. I wanted on Fridays here on these short little quick hitter podcast, or not even, well, I guess it is a podcast, just a pregame brief, we'll call it. I wanted to get to 5 keys to the game, 5 care keys, if you will. 5 because cares is spelled with 5 letters. I don't know. I'm throwing it out there, but 5 things, maybe not keys, but things I'm most looking forward to tonight, things that my watchful eye will be on throughout the evening. So 5 keys to the games, or 5 of the most excited things I'm excited to see tonight at Care Park in Irwindale. Number 1 is Rio. What is, you always hear the term identity, right? And we know what Rio's identity is. Run the ball, stop the run. Those are 2 big foundations of their team. But I'm kind of excited to see what direction does this team take? Are they more of an offensive or defensive team? What side of the ball has a better, quicker start? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if we're going to see the game-breaking big plays that we saw on last year's team. It's no knock on these guys. We haven't seen them play yet, but I think defensively, they're going to be right there. They're going to be swarming the ball. I think a prediction of mine is maybe the defense has a little bigger edge on the offensive side of the ball. I could be dead wrong. I hope I'm dead wrong, because that means there'll be some points scored from the Rio Hondo team. But I'm curious to see which side of the ball Rio really it plays better in. Which side of the ball are you walking away from the game going, man, that defense looks nasty, or hey, that offense, man, they put up some yards tonight. And we don't want to forget about special teams, right? Special teams is generally how Rio wins football games, but they outshine the other team in special teams. Usually there was a lot of special teams mistakes last year, and I don't want to talk too much about last year because it is a new season and new things ahead. So which side of the ball is the most productive, we'll say, on Friday night. I have a feeling it's probably going to be the defense, but that's no knock on Randy Johnson, the offensive side of the ball. Randy Johnson, the offensive coordinator. I just think the offense, it takes a little time to kind of figure out who's blocking who, not just the repetition, but also the execution. Sometimes the execution is out the door a little bit. Out the gate, it's not as quick. And I think defensively, you're just trying to wreck the game, right? You wreck the other team, swarm the ball. So I don't know. We'll see. I could be wrong. Maybe neither side has a good game. I don't know. I don't anticipate that. I think one side of the ball will probably play better than the other. And so it's all the same guys, or most of the same guys, right? Going both ways. So I'm curious that which type of team is Rio going to be out of the gate, offensive or defensive? We always want a complete team, but I'm curious which side of the ball is most impactful. Number 2, my second key to the game is Ryan McCullough. We all know he's all everything. We know all the attention he's got, the scholarship, the college recruiting. We know he's had an amazing previous 3 years at Rio. He's a senior now, and definitely teams are going to be focusing attention on him. I'm curious the impact of Ryan McCullough on both sides of the ball tonight. How many carries does he get? If you run him into the ground, he'll be a little tired for defense. I mean, he's a defensive lineman for Rio, so you need him kind of fresh and kind of that balance of impact. So I'm curious to see the impact of Ryan McCullough, one of the area's top players and one of the top players in Rio's history, how he comes out of the gate as a senior. Is he going to get double teamed? Is he going to, be focused on as a runner at the line of scrimmage? I think El Monte would be foolish not to do those things. So I'm curious the impact of Ryan McCullough on both sides of the ball. Maybe he's a decoy sometimes. Maybe he absorbs some double teams and frees up some other guys. Time will tell, but I'm curious about that big time, as I'm sure a lot of people in the area, maybe even not affiliated with Rio, will be with Ryan getting a lot of attention on and off the field this season. At number 3, it's the biggest story, I think, of the season, and that is the freshmen playing varsity. How do those guys react? How do they respond? The lights are going to be on. You're playing there at Care Field, where just last year you were playing 8th grade football, junior high football, and now all of a sudden you're playing varsity, taking varsity snaps. That can be tough for any young man. And I know I was not ready as a freshman by any means, not even to go in and be a holder or something. I mean, it's a big step to play varsity football as a 14-year-old. One of the best players in Rio history, one of my former teammates, Landon Goodwill, he played varsity as a freshman, but he had some growing pains. He went out there and he was all everything. And he almost just looked like a normal, well, he was a freak of nature, but as a freshman, he didn't stand out nearly as much as he did as a junior and a senior, right? We knew he was different. He was going to be special, but and that was one of the best players we've ever had. So for the freshmen to go out there, especially the freshmen starting on the offensive line, how do they respond? Is the moment too big for them? Again, we're all about constant improvement throughout this season, but I am very curious. We'll be watching closely with not just the freshmen in the trenches there, but the freshmen all over the field and how they're going to play this football game. And if it's too big for them, and again, it's a long season, we're going to see where it goes, but they are being asked to step up big time in a major way that none of us have, or hardly any of us have ever had to do. So good luck to those guys. Number 4, conditioning. It's August. El Monte has played a game already. And what I mean by this is with Rio's lack of depth, right? The size physically, conditioning is always a major factor in their success. And this is the first game for these guys. Some of these guys played in the JV game, some of the freshmen on Tuesday, but this is different. When you step on the varsity football field for the first game, conditioning and practices, those are things that make you better and prepare you for this moment. But I'm curious in their conditioning versus El Monte. El Monte was up, I think, 13-0 last week against Pomona, and then didn't score a point the rest of the game. So maybe they wore down a little bit. I don't know. But for the Rio kids out there, most of them playing both ways, I'm curious with this August start, first game of the year, is there going to be cramping? Are they going to look strong there in the fourth quarter? I think Coach Carson has them ready to rock and roll, but we'll see, right? Everyone has a plan until you get punched in the face. And so we're going to see how that goes on Friday evening. And finally, it's my first opener in a long time. I'm curious of the atmosphere, the attendance. We've been, pumping this thing up for the past 3 months on the podcast. I'm curious how many people show up how many people not just are there, but are into the game. I know Coach Carson is real proud of the little alumni section kind of down there, standing room, down towards the north end zone there, right towards the entrance. I'm just curious of the atmosphere. Are the Rio Hondo Prep faithful going to come out and show this team, hey, we support you guys. We're excited for you guys. And I know I'll be there. I got family members who will be there. A ton of alumni already. There's only 4 home games, guys. There's only 4. And the first 2 or the first 2 weeks, we're halfway done with home games. So be sure to get out to the games this weekend, or this Friday, I should say. And I do want to one more time show you guys the link here to the for the tickets. Tickets are on sale for the football season. General admission is $10, but if you buy a season ticket, there are 4 home games, right? 26th, September 1st, September 30th, and October 21st. But if you buy in bulk, if you buy a season ticket, it will only cost you $30. So sounds like if you're going to go to these games, that's probably the best fit for you. And here's the app, the Hometown Fan app. You can find it on Google Play. You can find it on the Apple App Store. That is the best place to get your tickets there, or the only place really, I should say. So you don't want to miss that. This is how to do it, guys. This is just where it's really easy. Even I could do it, and I did do it. So that is what you guys want to do for tickets here moving forward for the Rio Hondo season. Be sure to download that app. For those of you who are watching on our social media platforms or on YouTube, you saw it, you can see it. It's the big H there. You can't miss it. All right, guys, that's about it for me. I will wrap it up here. Get there early. We don't need, the kickoff to be happening as cars are still parking. The game's at 7. Try to get there. I don't know, whenever is comfortable for you. It's always nice to see around that 6:45 mark when the team does come out on the field that there are people there ready to rock and roll. Seating is limited. It is what it is, but there'll be plenty of standing room, I'm sure, on the sidelines for those who have sideline passes, courtesy of Coach Carson. And of course, if you got kids, there's a playground. There's some tables on the north end zone side there where you can sit and watch the game. A lot of options. I was watching the El Monte team last week. They had a ton of cheerleaders and a pretty good sized band that traveled. So I'm sure they will be there in full force. So it's just exciting, man. It's the neighbors to the south, the El Monte Lions, coming to Care Park in Irwindale. We'll see if Coach Kirby has the pep band going. I can't wait for this, guys. And that's why I'm going to have some content here in the morning, content in the evening, and then of course, plenty of stuff going on with the game tonight at 7 o'clock. So let's kick this thing off. The time is now. The place is here. Good luck, Rio Hondo Prep fans. Thank you for joining me. Thanks for supporting this podcast and for supporting Rio Hondo Prep football. The wait is over, guys. It is now time. Let's get to it. Let's see who's about it. Let's remember to be humble in victory and gracious in defeat, because we always have that charge to keep.